If you're relocating to the UK from countries that the value of the currency is way lesser than pounds, I will advise you as a new person in the UK that whenever you are purchasing anything, please do not convert pounds to your home currency, because this was one of the mistakes I made when I came to the UK. Switch your mind, you are in the United Kingdom now, so you are spending pounds, whatever you are buying. Just think about it as it should be, you are spending pounds.
Are you kidding me?
Hello everyone and welcome again to this channel. My name is Moya Adeyemi. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. In this video, I'll be discussing the cost of living in the UK. When I was back in Nigeria, there is always this discussion about which country of the world is the most expensive to live in, and people always most times always mention the United Kingdom as the most expensive place to live in the world. I think one of the reasons that I believe people were saying that because pounds is one of the highest valued currency in the world, so you expect that whatever a pound is purchasing would definitely be expensive. People talk from the perspective of converting pounds to their own national currency. One of the reasons why I'm making this video is for intending migrants that wants to come into the UK to see how things are being done here and the kind of bills that you have to pay at the end of each month. If you haven't seen my last video on how much a caregiver earns in the UK, you can click on the link up in the screen to see that. To also give you an average of how much a person that works in such a field will be earning at the end of each month. So you can use that to compare with the cost of living to really see that is it really worth it to relocate to live in the UK. So I would say if you're living in the UK, definitely, most likely you're working and your salary is coming from the UK. That means that the value in which you are earning is the value in which you are living. I mean your cost of living. Different countries in the world have different ways in which they pay bills, especially when it comes to house rent and some other utility bills. Back home in Nigeria, we mostly pay our house rent per year, whereas living in the UK, they pay house rent per month, which is a big difference. And before I even came to the UK, my sister was telling me about all this, trying to orientate me before I came into the country. And I'm like, why do I have to be paying per month? I'm like, oh, if I get to the UK and I have money, I'm going to be paying my rent per year, so I won't have to worry about money until the next year. And my sister was like, if you actually have money to pay for your rent per year, then you don't have to be renting a property in the first place. If you have that much money, why don't you just get a mortgage and buy a property then? The way the system is just so different from Nigeria, where I've come from. In Nigeria, if you pay your rent per year, it looks reasonable, because you wouldn't buy a house for the price of renting for a year, because mortgage is not really a thing back home. So here it's almost like whatever you are gaining per month, that is where every cost of living for that month is coming from. You can't really carry over the expense of this month to the next month. The major cost of living in the UK, the things that are non-negotiable for you as a person that is living in the UK. Number one thing which takes most part of your money is the house rent. House rent in the UK vary from places to places across the United Kingdom. Some places are very expensive, while some places are in the middle, while some places are way cheaper to live and to rent a property. I'm presently living in Bedford. I have lived in Luton before. I've lived in Cambridge before. So the prices of houses in these places is a bit different, but the prices of house in Luton and Bedford is quite similar because it's in the same county. So some of those things can also make things to differ from place to place, county to county. Some places within the same county might have similar range of housing rate and might differ from the other county. We all know, United Kingdom is Wales, England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Places that are in northern part of England are kind of cheaper than south and maybe the west and the east. Scotland is more affordable place to live in the United Kingdom as a whole. House rent depends on the kind of property that you are living in. So some people live in flats, some people live in bungalows, some people live in house, some people live in studio. The highest money that you'll be paying every month is your accommodation fee, your rent. So the other bills that you'll be paying every month is your council tax. So in the UK, you have to pay your council tax. This is the money that you pay to the council of where you are living. That's the money they use to take care of the community. The money they use to like take the bins and make sure the community is safe and beautiful. So they use the money for a good cause just in the community. That's what they call council tax. And also there is the electricity and the gas bills. So this is the other bill that you have to pay. And also the other bill is the internet. So the internet depends on the plan that works for you, that suits you. So if you want a higher speed one, then you have to pay more. If you want like okay one, so you just have to look for what you can afford, and the area that you are living, you need to make a research that okay, this area that I'm going to be living, what internet is good for such area. So when you know the internet provider that is good for such area, then you can have a plan with them and have a package with them. And the other bill that you'll be paying is water. So water also depends on your provider and depends on the amount of water that you use per month. So there's a water meter that will read the amount of water that you use. So if you're using so much, then you pay so much. If you're using so little, then you pay so little. So the amount of electricity you use also will determine the amount of money that you'll be paying. The other bill that is also like common that people pay every month is for TV license. And the other major bill is food. Food is like non-negotiable, even though you have to pay your rent, but you have to eat first, isn't it? So food is also one of the major things that people spend money on. And with the cost of living in the UK going up, the inflation and everything, the amount of money that we spend on food right now is way more than what we used to spend. So and the way the money increase sometimes is so subtle. Like you go to the shop today, you buy something for £1. Then the next time you go, it might be like £1.10. You'll be like, oh, it's just 10p, isn't it? 10p in like different places is already increasing the amount of money that you spend on grocery. Yeah, so that's one other thing, one major thing also that people spend a lot of money on in the UK to buy food. So that's the like major things that you'll be spending money on if you're thinking of coming to the UK to live in the UK on a monthly basis. Going back to the question of is it really expensive to live in the UK? I wouldn't say yes and I wouldn't say no. And how much you're earning also contributes a lot to if it is expensive or not. The amount of money that you earn and the amount of money that you spend will determine if it's really expensive or not expensive to live. Like I said earlier in this video, don't try to convert pounds to your national currency if you're not British. So if you're trying to convert, say like me from Nigeria, converting pounds to naira, yes, it is very expensive. I can't rent a property in Nigeria in a month for the amount of money that I'm renting in the United Kingdom in a month. The amount I'm paying for my house in a month in the United Kingdom is way above 1 million naira. So I can't rent a property in Nigeria for over 1 million naira. So but because of the way the country is, I'm earning in pounds and I'm paying in pounds, so it looks reasonable if I'm paying that amount of money with the amount of money that I'm earning. That's why I can't really answer the question as a straightforward answer. If you can cut your coat according to your cloth, then you wouldn't really say that living in the UK is expensive. Make sure that whatever you are spending is not above your means, it's not above the money that you are earning. So that is just my other advice for you. I hope to see you again in my next Tuesday video. Thank you for joining me again. If you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to do so before you leave this video. Thank you for your support always.